What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if this is the first time finding it. The date is the 28th of May and it's the start of my 2018 summer cut. And I'm going to call it my superhero shred because, as you can tell by the title of this channel, I do this to look like a superhero. That's the main reason I started lifting. So that's the name we're going with. I think I like it. So I know a lot of people might think that this is a little bit late to start a summer cut. Usually people tend to start them around March, maybe April at the latest, so that they're lean, shredded, beach ready for June, July, peak summertime. However, if I did start a cut back then I would have only been bulking for about 6, maybe 7 months at best. And I was making really good progress. I was consistently gaining strength, gaining size, and I wanted to continue it a little bit longer and actually get the most out of it. So kept it going for another 2 months so that my total time lean bulking was about 9 months. And I'm glad I did because it meant I got more strength gains, definitely put on more size, and I didn't gain too much body fat as well. I was staying relatively lean during it, so pretty happy with the results. And by the time I finish my cut, it's still gonna be mid to end of August, so I'm still going to get that prime beach time, and I've actually got a holiday booked for Cuba, so I'm ending my cut as soon as I go on holiday there. So this summer I will still get to walk around on the beach with my shirt off like a complete douchebag. So this video series, I didn't want it to be too much of just a vlog or a daily vlog because I definitely wouldn't be able to commit to a daily vlog and you guys would probably get really bored of it. I'll be honest, like, my life isn't that interesting. I definitely don't have enough stuff to show you every single day what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is still include a bit of lifestyle, a bit of what I'm eating, you know, my workouts, that kind of thing. But I also want to provide more information as well. So each video is going to be based around a certain topic. So there's going to be an educational section to each video, but also showing a bit of what's going on behind the scenes. So to start things off, let's give you some stats of where I started this cut at. So I woke up this morning at 162.2 pounds, which the last time I finished a lean bulk, which was around this time last year, I was about 155 pounds. And I feel like I'm about the same leanness, so I don't think that extra 7 pounds is purely from fat. I think a lot of that has been from muscle, so I'm really happy with the results from this gaining phase. In terms of body fat percentage, I use these now, which are skin calipers. I used to use the scales that would measure it through sending an electric current through your body, but the reason I prefer these, I'm going to do a full video on different ways to measure body fat percentage and why some are good, why some are bad, the disadvantages of each. But the reason I prefer these, just to keep it quick, is that these are measuring the thickness of your skin. That's it. If that is decreasing over time, you're likely losing body fat, you're moving in the right direction. Other methods that send a current through your body, they can be thrown off by water weight or just how much food you've eaten. So I found they're very inconsistent, and although these aren't going to give me a perfect number, as long as I can see whatever number it's showing decreasing, absolutely fine. But they threw out 12.7. Basically you take the pinch, so you can see there it's got millimeters, and what you do is once you get that number, you use this chart and just work out which body fat percentage you are. So yeah, 12.7, which I'll throw up an image on screen. This is what I was like yesterday, and I think that's pretty accurate. I think I'm about 12 to 13% body fat. You know, I haven't got shredded abs, but at the same time there's some outline there. So I will be using these to track my progress and also tracking body weight as well. So next I'm going to show you some clips of my workout for today. It's a heavy pull day, so starting off with deadlifts and weighted pull-ups and going into some more back and biceps work as well. So I'll see you in that section. Alrighty then, so I'm going to take you through a little bit of my workout for today. So like I said, it's a heavy pull day, which means I started off with deadlifts. And what you're seeing here is my first set. So I've just done my warm-up sets. What I do for warm-up sets is 50% of the weight I'm going to be using for my working sets for 10 reps. Then I do 70% of that weight for 4 to 5 reps. And then I do one final warm-up set of about 90% of the weight I'm going to be using for just 1 rep. And then go straight into my workouts. So this is the first set, 170 kilos here. I managed to get 4 reps, which last week I did this weight for 5, which, yeah, I did drop a rep, but I really didn't want to push it. It was feeling very heavy today. I don't know if that's just nerves from the first day of the cut, but we'll see if I can get it back up to 5 next week. So second set here, and this one I dropped it down to 165. Didn't want to drop off too much weight, but I wanted to make sure I could stay within the 4 to 6 rep range. So I managed to get 5 reps here, and these still felt pretty heavy, but a little bit smoother than the 170 kilos. Looking good. So yeah, final rep, 5th rep there, and then last set on deadlifts. So yeah, 3 sets on deadlifts, and I dropped it again down to 160 kilos. And again, managed to get 5 here. This one felt a bit easier than the other 2. I don't use the RPE scale, but if I had to, I'd probably put this at about maybe a 7. As I said, I don't use it too much, so I'm not too familiar with it. But no, I reckon I could have got 6 here, but didn't really want to push it. So I'll see how I feel next week, see if I can get 6 reps on the final set for 160 kilos. Anyway, after deadlifts, went into weighted pull-ups. Well, these are, I guess they're chin-ups, but they're neutral grip ones is the ones that I do. I don't like the overhand too much these days. I found I do get a bit of shoulder pain if I do them for a long period of time, and especially now that I'm back to using barbells for my bench press and for military press, I really do want to be careful on my shoulder, because those 2 exercises are what caused me problems in the past. And I found doing neutral grip manages to feel a bit easier. So I did 20 kilos for the first set and got 6 reps, which I think that's a PR for me, but I don't know if that's just because I'm weighing less because I've got less food in me, so might be cheating. Then went on to, again, I dropped the weight a little bit here, 17.5 kilos, and managed to get 5 reps, I believe. And this one felt fairly easy. You can see my hands shaking as I get towards the top of the rep there. And then went on to the final one where I dropped it to 15 kilos and got another 5 reps. Now after this, I went in to do some barbell curls, some heavy sets of 6 to 8, and some lighter sets of 10 to 12, and then some rear delt dumbbell raises. And that's all I did for my workout. I didn't add in tons of volume. It was a heavy strength day, so my workout was done in 50 minutes really. But all in all, a pretty good workout. Managed to keep my strength for most of those exercises, and obviously that's the main goal over the cut. I'm not really looking to add weight, add reps, and do too much progressive overload over the next 13 weeks. My main goal is just to hold on to the strength and keep what I've got.
Ready for another lesson.
Welcome to the educational section. I know you're looking forward to this. So, before starting any fat loss, muscle building program, anything that involves changing your body's composition, the number one thing you want to get right, especially with nutrition, is your calories. So I put it into 5 simple steps, and we are going to go through them now. So firstly, you want to find out what your maintenance calories are. Now, maintenance calories, as the name suggests, are the amount of calories that you need to eat to maintain your body weight. By eating at this amount, your body weight might go up and down a little bit, but most of that will be due to fluctuations in things like water weight, or how much food you've eaten, or whether you've... Now, there's a lot of ways you can calculate your maintenance calories. None of them are perfect though. So you can use calculators, there's plenty online. I like to use the Catch-McCardle formula, but others are the Muller and the Michelin Man. I'm not sure, but none of them are perfect, so it doesn't really matter which one you use because you're probably going to have to make adjustments at some point along the way. You can also use tracking devices, so Fitbits are a good example. Any sort of wearable smart tech that gives you an estimate of how many calories you're burning. Again though, they're not perfect, so don't take it at face value. Whichever method you use, you will have to use trial and error to figure out if the numbers that are being thrown out are accurate, which is the second step, which is to test it out. So now that you've got your numbers, you want to plug it into a meal plan or track using something like MyFitnessPal or some kind of food diary and monitor your body weight. If over time your body weight is staying roughly the same, chances are you are eating at your maintenance calories. However, if your weight is increasing, then it means you're eating above your maintenance calories. And if your weight is decreasing, then that means you're eating below your maintenance calories. So you do have to track for a decent amount of time to get a realistic idea. You can't just track a certain amount for a week and then look at the scales and think, well, I've lost 5 pounds this week, I must be eating below my calories. No, like you can lose 5 pounds of water weight and you could still be gaining fat. So test it out for a decent amount of time. 4 to 6 weeks, like I said, is a good start. Step number 3 is make adjustments. So now that you've figured out whether you're eating at your maintenance calories, you do also want to double check that you're doing it correctly. A big mistake a lot of people make is that they think they're eating a certain amount of calories, but they're not accounting for added oils, sauces, butter, licking the spoon.
Oh, look. What? The spoon. You licked and you put?
Which can actually throw off the amount of calories they're eating. So before you make any adjustments, make sure you are actually eating what you think you are. Make sure you've weighed out all the food portions the right size, the right weight. And once you know for sure that you are eating what you've tracked, then you can decide whether you want to increase or decrease the amount of calories in small amounts. And that's the key. Do it in small amounts. Don't just jump up by 1,000 calories. Don't just drop it by 1,000 calories. Let's say you worked out that you were under eating slightly. What you'd want to do is start by increasing your calories by, let's say, 100 calories. Stick with that for a week or two. Monitor it, see what happens, then maybe if you want to add another 100 calories, but do it in small increments. Okay, step number 4, and that is deficit or surplus. So by this stage, you should know pretty accurately what your maintenance calories are. Now you need to decide if your goal is to gain weight or lose weight. So if you want to gain weight, you need to put yourself into a calorie surplus, and if you want to lose weight, put yourself into a calorie deficit. You don't need to go crazy with these numbers. To give you some ballpark figures, I like to use a deficit of 20 to 25%, which my maintenance calories are about 2,800, which means I'm eating at about 2,200 calories because I'm in a deficit right now. And when you're in a surplus, the best bet is to do a very small, very conservative surplus. And that's because if you start adding in an extra 1,000 calories on top of your maintenance, you're not necessarily going to build much more muscle than if you were using a smaller surplus of, say, 500 calories. But you will gain extra fat. So a small surplus of about 10% is perfect for bulking, which is why when I'm bulking, I use about 3,000 to 3,100 as my starting point. And step 5, and this one is important, you need to monitor your progress. And there's multiple ways you can do this. You can track your body weight, you can track with progress pictures, and your workout performance. So with body weight, it's not a good idea to weigh yourself once a week because you can get a random high weigh-in or a random low weigh-in, which can really confuse whether you're moving in the right direction or not. The best way is to weigh yourself every day and take an average over 7 days, and then track the average of that week. And if your averages are decreasing, you're losing weight successfully. If your averages are going up, you get the idea. Progress pictures are also good because they solve the problem of body weight being very misleading. So let's be honest, when someone says they want to lose weight, they don't want to lose weight, the number on the scale, it doesn't really matter. What they really mean is that they want to lose fat. So if someone is losing fat but also building muscle, then their weight might actually stay the same. So if they were tracking their body weight on the scales, they might think they're not making any progress. But visually, with their progress pictures, they might be able to see a hell of a difference. So that's why it's important not to always worry too much about the weight on the scales, and progress pictures are a really good way to get by that. And lastly, workout performance. If your goal is to gain muscle, gain strength, and you're eating in a calorie surplus, then you want to be increasing your workout performance, getting stronger, adding reps, and making good progression. But at the same time, even if your goal is to lose weight and lose fat, then you don't want your workouts to be shit. If your workouts are really suffering and they're feeling horrible, you've got no energy, and you're losing strength, losing reps, then you're probably eating way under your maintenance and you're eating in too much of a deficit. So yeah, make sure that your workout performance isn't suffering too much, otherwise that's an indication that you are probably under eating. But that's why I like to use all 3 of these as a way to track your progress. You know, not just body weight, but progress pictures as well, and also how well I'm doing in the gym. But those are the 5 tips for setting up your calories. Very basic, very simple, but at the end of the day, getting fundamentals and getting the basics right is what gets you most of the results. Like, there's no point worrying about fancy things like intermittent fasting, carb cycling, whether you should go keto or not. You know, all these things are just tools that you can use based on your personal preference. But you need to get these kind of things right first. So figure out your maintenance calories, test it out, make adjustments if you need, decide whether you're going into a deficit or a surplus, and then track your progress. But that about wraps up this video. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something. That's always the aim of these things. I'm currently 2 days into my cut now and feeling pretty good, but I'm sure that'll change at some point. And over the next 13 weeks, I'm going to try and add in new informational videos on just different aspects of dieting and fitness in general. But if you're new to Superhero Gains, then hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought of this one. If you liked the video, leave a like. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.